Hello everyone, this is Kelly and Kelly.
With hot topics, mostly in real estate.
And if you were tuned in last week, you heard us talk about a seller's market. Now we're going to touch on one more because we really got rolling on that. We're just going to touch on one more topic on that. And then we're going to go into the buy side of that. So last time we were talking about pricing strategy for that seller. And I want to just tell you that, my house, I put so much of my effort, time, and money, blood, sweat, and tears. My house is going to be worth a pot of gold. That's what I'm going to tell you. Right?
Right. Yep, I've heard it before.
Exactly. So how do you come up with a pricing strategy that works for everyone?
Right. So, a real estate agent has a lot of things to factor in when they're talking about price because we aren't just appraisers. Right, appraisers will go in and they'll look at the 3 things that have sold recently that best compare to your house, and they'll say, all right, those 3 things sold for this price, you have a little bit more of this, your price is X. I mean, that's an arbitrary number either way. I mean,
Sure.
No matter what, you're dealing with humans with opinions. But the fact of the matter is that as real estate agents, I not only have to factor in, what an appraisal will say. So we can't get too far ahead of ourselves no matter how good the seller's market is because the house won't appraise for that number.
Sure.
The other is I have to factor in the buyer pool. So when I look at those comparable sales and I say, all right, A was this, B was that, C was this. But the person who bought B never would have bought your house because of its location. So I actually have to factor out that B comparable because it doesn't truly represent what somebody would pay for your house. So I'm not looking at an appraised value or an assessed value. I'm looking at what the actual market value of your house is.
You brought up a really good point that leads me to, okay, now I'm on the buy side. What if that, we made an offer, everything's accepted, and the appraiser comes back and it's maybe a $20,000, $10,000 difference lower than so where do we go with that?
You're talking about my nightmare.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
really what you're talking
and a
about.
buyer's worst nightmare as well
and
because
the
they're
sellers.
in fear of losing that home then.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. The appraisal is there because they're supposed to be the insurance policy to make sure you're not overspending on a house just because you have an emotional attachment.
Sure.
That's great. I mean, that insurance policy is there for the bank, it's there for the buyer, it's a good thing. However, there are some appraisers who are better at their jobs than others, right? There are
Correct.
some people who will put forth more effort than others. So, as an example, I had a home that was recently listed down in Abbotsford. Multiple offers on it. Multiple offers mean there are multiple people who saw the value in that house. The appraisal came back $30,000 less.
Oh,
So if an appraisal comes in less, a buyer could say, hey, I'll pay the difference.
sure.
Who's going to pay $30,000 difference? Right? So that doesn't
Let's take that out of my wallet.
Right. So what we actually ended up doing is that deal fell apart. Right?
Okay.
Another buyer comes to the table, and I want to say it was like 6 weeks later. So, I mean, the timing hasn't changed drastically. The market hasn't changed drastically. We're within the same spring, summer selling period. They make an offer. They take it to their bank. Their bank hires an appraiser, sends somebody out. It appraises at full value plus some. Same house. So it is important for you to have good market knowledge behind where you're at because an agent could have advised his seller to reduce his price by $30,000
Sure.
because that's the appraised value. We need to get this done.
Right.
But I knew better. That was not the actual market value of that house. So my seller listened to my advice and waited. We started over. It took us an extra 3 months, but it's $30,000.
Difference. Which brings me, that is amazing. And thank goodness they listened to you. Truly.
Some days.
Then, like you say, the market is what really is where you're pricing the home. You're taking a look at the past 3 to 6 months, even maybe out to a year, what the market can bear. And that's where you're getting your pricing from.
Yeah.
It's not off of their tax statement. It's not off of Zestimate on Zillow.
Oh,
It's
God,
what
no.
the market can bear.
Even the Zillow CEO doesn't sell for what the Zillow Zestimate said his house was. He sold for 40% less than that.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Shazam. That should tell you right there who to listen to here.
Yep.
All right, so that brings us to the multiple offers.
Okay, so next week we're going to talk about multiple offers.
Perfect.
Because we are actually out of time again this week. So this is Kelly and Kelly.
With
Hot topics, mostly in real estate.
catch us next week we're going to talk about those multiple offers.
Yeah, multiple offers and how they affect your real estate transaction.